Hello and welcome to White Horse Music TV! My name is Richard Budina and I'm co-owner of this wonderful shop with my lovely wife who is not here at the moment. She's practicing extreme social distancing because she's at home and I'm here. Distancing from me, that's a bit sad. Today, I'm doing this series where I demonstrate, where I show off instruments that I've just been setting up. Well, I just set up a Scott Cao cello in full size, and I thought, well, recently I've set up a couple of other Scott Cao cellos, so why not show you a few Scott Cao cellos, and that'll give you an idea of the difference between the different models of these guys. Now, in Australia, we have different labelling than they do overseas. And that's because the Australian importers, they like to be sneaky and import them with, they improve the parts that they're coming over with, different quality ebony and different quality this and that, and so they label them differently, and it becomes quite complex. This particular guy is called an SCC100, and the CE refers to Chinese wood, and the model that I'm going to show you after this one is called the SCC35E, which is European wood. So this is what this guy looks like. I'll bring him a bit closer. Yeah, he's sort of like, very mildly antiqued. And I sort of like that. There's some cellos that are very, very, very antiqued, and there's some cellos that are just very, very more sort of plain looking, but this looks like a really beautiful colour, and they're really beautifully made as well. Scott Cao cellos are just a thing of beauty. They rival a lot of the European instruments that are quite a few more dollars in the way they're made, so they're very impressive. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll play this one, and then we'll play the one with European wood and see if that one sounds about $500 better. Now this one, as usual, has been set up with all of our better parts. This one we made a really good quality bridge for it, got rid of the old one because we're obsessive. I've seen a doctor about that obsessiveness. They say it's fine, just be obsessive about bridges and stuff, just not about other scarier things. So we made a new bridge, put on these Larsen strings, put a German tailpiece on. We planed the fingerboard so it's really smooth and easy to play and doesn't make buzzes and stuff. We lowered the nut so it's exactly the right height. We refitted the peg so it won't slip out of tune. We made a new sound post inside. All of that was about 5 hours, and it is so worth doing. Makes it sound like a cello. Let's have a play. So it's rich and full sounding, and it's got great depth down there and great sustain as well, and the notes ring on really well. It's just a beautiful, balanced, even cello, which is really amazing for this sort of price range. So really beautiful. See if you can keep that sound in your head, because I'm going to go to the European wood one. Stay tuned. All right, European wood one. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm hearing more depth, quite a bit more depth, which is sort of fairly consistent for the difference between those two models. Although, they, if you had 5 of this one, each one would sound different, and, it's not always going to sound necessarily deeper than that model, but in this case it definitely does. That's definitely deeper and stronger. Gosh, if you had an extra $500, I'd be going towards this one. Let's have a listen. Oh, definitely buy that one right now. Now I'll show you. This is what this guy looks like. Not that dissimilar to the previous one. I reckon they are very, very similar in the way they're made. Sometimes when you compare two models of cellos, one with Chinese woods and one with European woods, they've actually put more effort into the one with the European wood because the wood's more expensive. For instance, the J. Heidi cellos, you can see on the European wood ones that they're a better cello, not just better wood. So, but with those two, I reckon they're really similar in the way they're made, just different quality wood. Now, this guy is the Scc100. 100 scribble. 100. Oh, I'm calling it the Scc100 because I can't see there's some sort of last letter going on there. Now this one, I mean, with those Scott Cao's, there was one that was about 2,995 and then 3,495. This guy is 4,495, so like $1,000 more than the previous model. But take a look. Let's have a look. The grain on there, you can see it's sort of rippling. The varnish is much finer, much more attention to detail in the varnish and the way it's made, and much better quality wood. So this is a completely different monster. You would want it to be a completely different monster because you're paying a lot more dollars. But let's see about the sound, shall we? Because that's the thing, you know, they can use better wood, better workmanship, better everything. Doesn't always mean better sound. Now that C string is like vibrating my whole body. I love a cello that when you press up against it and play the C string, your vision starts going blurry because your whole body's shaking. That's awesome. All right, so this is a different creature. Let's have a try. So depth and strength and I mean, you know, same sort of parts, same Larsen strings, same everything. I've made a slightly different bridge on this one. Have a look. That, my friends, can I get close? Yeah, I can. That one is a Despiau 3-tree bridge, which is a different brand, you know, a different brand of bridge supplier. So we get Despiau bridges sometimes. This one of the other ones, has a Albert bridge. They're both French bridges, and both, you know, really good quality. But I just happened to have this Despiau one there, and I thought, you know, it's going to work for me. It was a good shape for this bridge, so I was like, all right, I'm using that, I'm making that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'll play all three of those cellos, one after the other, and I won't talk in between the playing so that you can hear them. So it's going to be the SCC 35CE, the Chinese wood one, SCC 35E, the European wood one, and then the SCC100, which is another big step up. Let's have a try. That's a nice note to finish on. Let's finish on that note. Thanks for listening, everyone. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to compare those Scott Cao cellos to our Righetti cellos. And there's an interesting little bit of politics going on there, so let's do that.